Hello, miladies of inestimable value. A woman who can survive chaos doesn't fear power. She becomes it. Street-smart Sigma females don't come from comfort. They come from collision, where instinct met reality and refused to die. Studies show that people who've learned from raw experience, not theory, develop a sharper form of intelligence, one that reads danger, deceit, and opportunity faster than logic ever could. She's the woman who can spot a fake friend in a handshake, turn silence into strategy, and make survival look like style. She doesn't have time for emotional theatrics or empty motivational quotes. She's lived the kind of stories that motivational speakers plagiarize. While others talk about being strong or independent, she's quietly decoding human nature like a street prophet with Wi-Fi. She doesn't just adapt to her environment, she edits it. She walks through manipulation, chaos, and hidden agendas like she has cheat codes for real life. This isn't about attitude or rebellion, it's about precision. It's about a woman who built her wisdom in the wild, not in the classroom. And that's why the street-smart Sigma female doesn't just survive the game, she owns it. Number 1. She's too aware to be addicted to fantasy. The street-smart Sigma female has outgrown the pretty lies the world sells. She doesn't chase the illusion of perfect love, effortless success, or fairy tale happiness. She's seen how fantasies are used to trap people, how the dream of someday keeps most stuck in right now. Her awareness has burned away her taste for delusion. She knows every shiny promise comes with a price tag, and she reads the fine print before she signs her soul away. When she meets someone new, she doesn't build castles in her head. She studies patterns, not words. She's not heartless. She's just learned that emotional addiction can destroy a person faster than heartbreak. She doesn't mistake chemistry for compatibility or charm for character. That's why she rarely ends up chasing ghosts or begging for closure. She knows closure comes from clarity, not from people who caused the confusion. In her world, reality isn't boring. It's the foundation of power. She knows the difference between ambition and delusion, between desire and dependency. When most people get lost in fantasies of overnight success, she's busy planting slow, deliberate moves that actually work. She doesn't crave the spotlight because she understands fame without peace is a public form of misery. Her self-respect isn't up for negotiation just because someone or something looks good on paper. Her awareness makes her steady in a world addicted to illusions. She doesn't fall for marketing slogans, social media filters, or spiritual quick fixes. She's not cynical, she's calibrated. She can dream, but she refuses to drown in the dream, and that's her greatest strength. People often mistake her calm for indifference, but it's not. It's the confidence of someone who no longer confuses fantasy for hope. She walks through life knowing that reality, though rough, is the only thing that ever truly loves her back. And that's what makes her unstoppable. Number 2. She operates best in the shadows of chaos. The street-smart Sigma female doesn't panic when things fall apart. She sharpens. Where others freeze, she becomes focused. She's not addicted to chaos, but she understands it better than peace. Peace often hides lies and pretense. Chaos strips everything down to truth. That's where she thrives, in the raw, unfiltered moments where people's real intentions spill out. She reads those moments like a manual for survival. While everyone else is scrambling to restore order, she's already mapping the new rules. Her mind shifts faster than the environment. She doesn't waste energy on control. She studies patterns, adapts, and moves. That's why she's unshakable when life gets unpredictable. She doesn't fight change. She flows with it until it bends in her favor. In chaotic times, leaders lose their cool, manipulators lose their masks, and pretenders lose their balance. But she gains clarity. She knows chaos exposes what comfort conceals. Who's loyal, who's fake, who's built for pressure and who just talks. She uses that exposure to reorganize her world, cutting dead weight without emotion. That's not cruelty, it's efficiency. Her strength comes from experience, not theory. She's been through storms that rewired her instincts. She's learned that panic is expensive and patience is currency. So while others react loudly, she moves quietly, recalibrating, repositioning, ready to strike when the noise dies down. People often mistake her calm in chaos for luck, but it's not luck, it's mastery. She doesn't try to fix the storm, she lets it show her what needs to be rebuilt. Every crisis becomes her classroom, every collapse becomes a lesson. That's why chaos doesn't intimidate her, it empowers her. She knows the world rewards those who can think clearly when everything's burning. And when the dust settles, it's always her standing there, not because she survived by chance, but because she operated while everyone else was trying to survive. Number 3, she's addicted to observation, not attention. The street-smart Sigma female doesn't crave the spotlight, she studies it. While others compete to be noticed, she's busy noticing everything. Every glance, every hesitation, every contradiction becomes data to her. She's not watching to gossip or judge, she's watching to understand. Observation is her quiet superpower, the thing that makes her impossible to deceive and difficult to manipulate. She knows that people reveal themselves constantly, even when they're trying to hide. The tone they use when they talk about others, the way their eyes shift when they lie, the pauses between their words, those are the clues she collects. She doesn't interrupt or rush to speak. She lets silence expose truth. By the time most people think they've impressed her, she's already dissected their motives. Her mind works like an emotional radar. She can walk into a room and pick up the energy shifts instantly. Who's pretending? Who's insecure? Who's dangerous? Who's pretending to be confident? That's why she rarely gets blindsided. While everyone else is distracted by attention, she's decoding behavior like a silent detective in plain sight. She doesn't post every thought online or seek validation from applause. She knows attention is temporary, but information is power. Every word she doesn't say adds weight to the ones she eventually does. And when she finally speaks, people listen, not because she's loud, but because her silence before it was meaningful. This is why she wins the long game. While others burn out chasing recognition, she builds insight. She learns people before she trusts them, and environments before she invests in them. Her awareness protects her from traps that destroy others, emotional, social, or professional. For her, attention is noise, but observation is strategy. She doesn't need to be seen to have control. She's already 3 steps ahead, quietly, patiently, always watching. Number 4, she decodes people faster than they can fake their smile. The street-smart Sigma female doesn't need psychic powers to read people. She relies on a kind of intelligence most overlook, instinct trained by experience. Her intuition isn't guesswork or magic. It's the result of years spent paying attention to what others ignore. She's had to navigate fake kindness, silent envy, and hidden agendas, so now deception practically glows to her. She notices the micro things others miss, the hesitation before a lie, the overcompensating smile, the subtle tension around the eyes. While most people listen to what's being said, she listens to what's being avoided. She watches body language like it's a second language. A twitch, a sigh, or a tone drop tells her everything she needs to know. By the time someone's finished their sentence, she's already filed their intentions. This isn't paranoia. It's pattern recognition. She's seen too much to take words at face value. Life taught her that manipulation often wears politeness as perfume, and she learned to smell it instantly. That's why she rarely gets played, because she spots the performance before the plot begins. she's not confrontational about it either. She won't expose the liar or humiliate the pretender. She simply adjusts, changes the tone, withdraws her energy, or mirrors their behavior until they reveal themselves completely. It's a quiet kind of dominance. No drama, no warnings, just awareness. People often think she's distant or hard to impress, but she's just filtering. She doesn't judge quickly, she assesses deeply. Trust, for her, isn't given because someone seems nice. It's earned through consistency. Her ability to read people gives her an invisible advantage. While others walk blind into emotional traps, she walks with a radar that never sleeps. It's not about suspicion, it's about self-preservation. She doesn't just see faces, she reads intentions. And that's why she always stays 10 steps ahead in a world full of performers. Number 5. She's fluent in the unspoken currency of power. The street-smart Sigma female doesn't waste time chasing recognition or trying to be liked. She studies how power actually moves. While most people focus on titles, positions, or loud confidence, she focuses on leverage, the silent kind that decides outcomes without needing permission. She's fluent in the subtle exchanges that happen behind words, favors, and alliances. That's what makes her dangerous in a world obsessed with appearances. She understands that power isn't about dominance, it's about perception and timing. She reads social dynamics like blueprints. Who holds influence? Who needs validation? Who's afraid of losing control? She identifies those weaknesses faster than people can hide them. While others speak to be heard, she listens to locate control points, the emotional buttons, the hidden fears, the quiet ambitions. Her power lies in her restraint. She doesn't announce her moves or try to intimidate. She lets others underestimate her because invisibility is leverage. By the time they realize she's steering the direction of the situation, it's already done. And she never raised her voice. She understands favors better than flattery. She knows when to align, when to withdraw, and when to let someone think they're in charge, just long enough for them to act in her favor. Her influence works in silence, not spectacle. People often think things just happen around her, unaware that she's been orchestrating the outcome from the background the whole time. This isn't manipulation, it's awareness. She understands that every interaction is a negotiation, whether people admit it or not. The world runs on invisible exchanges of power, and she's mastered reading the fine print most people overlook. That's why she rarely loses control, because she never trades her influence for attention. She doesn't fight for the throne. She studies the game, rewrites the rules, and makes others move exactly how she needs them to, without them ever realizing they've been played. Number 6. Her calm isn't peace, it's control. The street-smart Sigma female doesn't confuse calm with passivity. Her stillness isn't a sign that everything is fine. It's proof that she's fully in command. When chaos erupts around her, she doesn't flinch, argue, or rush to fix it. She calculates. Every gesture, every word, every reaction is measured. Her calm is not comfort, it's strategy. While others get swept up in panic, she absorbs the tension. She studies it, learns from it, and uses it. Every conflict, every lie, every unexpected problem becomes data. And from that data, she forms solutions, not just temporary patches, but moves that secure her position long after the noise dies down. Her mind thrives in turbulence because turbulence exposes truth. People drop masks, alliances shift, and intentions become visible. Her calm is also a mirror. When she doesn't react, it forces others to reveal themselves. Panic, frustration, and greed become more obvious in contrast to her steady demeanor. She doesn't have to speak to influence. Her presence alone redirects energy. She makes decisions while everyone else is scrambling to understand the situation. This control extends to herself first. She knows her emotions are tools, not liabilities. She doesn't let fear, anger, or jealousy dictate her choices. That self-mastery is what makes her untouchable. People underestimate her because they equate her silence with submission, never realizing its precision in action. Chaos becomes her clarity because she sees patterns where others see randomness. She identifies opportunities in confusion, predicts moves in instability, and positions herself in ways that guarantee long-term advantage. Her calm is never accidental. It's cultivated, deliberate, and deadly effective. In a world that rewards noise and punishes hesitation, she proves that true power isn't in reacting the fastest or shouting the loudest. It's in controlling your own mind, reading the battlefield, and letting the chaos work for you rather than against you. Number 7. She never argues. She repositions. The street-smart Sigma female understands that arguments rarely solve anything. They only reveal weakness. Emotional debates are a trap most people fall into without realizing it. They exhaust the mind, inflame tempers, and hand control to anyone willing to shout louder. She doesn't play that game. Instead of engaging, she repositions. Every interaction becomes a subtle exercise in influence rather than confrontation. She listens more than she speaks, and when she does speak, it's precise. One well-placed word, one carefully timed silence, or one shift in perspective can change the entire dynamic of a conversation. She doesn't need to dominate with volume or authority. She dominates by guiding the narrative without anyone noticing. Her influence is invisible until the results speak for themselves. Her mastery lies in understanding the psychology behind arguments. She knows that most people fight for ego, not truth, and she refuses to feed that cycle. Instead, she reframes, redirects, or disengages, all while maintaining her composure and control. Others may think they're leading, but in reality, she has already adjusted the trajectory in her favor. Repositioning also protects her energy. She doesn't waste time proving points or defending herself unnecessarily. Every verbal joust she avoids leaves her sharper, calmer, and more prepared to act strategically elsewhere. By sidestepping the battlefield of egos, she maintains freedom that others surrender in their need to win. Her approach is subtle, but devastatingly effective. By refusing to argue, she sets the rules of engagement without announcing them. People naturally adjust to her frame, even when they think they're in control. That's the difference between a Sigma female and the rest. She doesn't fight battles that weaken her. She navigates them, reshapes them, and emerges stronger every time. She turns confrontation into choreography, silent, deliberate, and entirely her own. Where others burn energy in conflict, she builds influence quietly, efficiently, and irreversibly. Number 8. She recognizes manipulation like a scent. The street-smart Sigma female doesn't need warnings to spot manipulation. It hits her awareness instantly, like a smell in the air others fail to notice. She's spent too much time around charmers, smooth talkers, and self-proclaimed saints to fall for the usual tricks. She doesn't wait to be fooled. The first hint of emotional bait, guilt tactics, or pressure disguised as kindness sets off her internal alarm, sharp, unrelenting, and impossible to ignore. She reads intentions the way others read headlines, a smile that doesn't reach the eyes, a favor with strings attached, or flattery with a hidden agenda. She sees it all. She understands the mechanics behind manipulation, the subtle shift in tone, the timing of a request, the unspoken pressure that accompanies words meant to control, and she refuses to engage with it. Her response isn't dramatic. She doesn't call out the manipulator in a public showdown. Instead, she detaches mentally, emotionally, and sometimes physically. She creates space where deceit cannot touch her. That detachment is her defense, her strategy, and her quiet superiority. While others argue, beg, or plead, she simply observes, recalibrates, and withdraws energy. This skill gives her immense freedom. She moves through social situations without being drained, deceived, or trapped. She doesn't waste time repairing trust that was never genuine or justifying her intuition to those who would dismiss it. By recognizing manipulation early, she retains control of her life and decisions, keeping her focus sharp and her mind uncluttered. Her immunity to manipulation isn't arrogance, it's experience translated into instinct. People often mistake her awareness for indifference or coldness, but it's neither. It's precision, it's survival, it's power. And in a world full of people trying to pull strings, she's already 10 steps ahead, untouchable, and quietly untangled from their schemes before they even begin. Number 9. She uses softness as strategy, not surrender. The street-smart Sigma female knows that softness is often misunderstood. Most people assume gentleness equals weakness, that kindness signals submission. She doesn't. She wields her softness like a tool, a carefully chosen strategy designed to disarm, observe, and ultimately control the situation. Her femininity, her patience, her calm demeanor, none of it is accidental. It's deliberate, purposeful, and lethal in its subtlety. When she presents softness, it lowers guards. People relax around her, thinking she's harmless, approachable, or pliable. That's when she observes, analyzes, and positions herself. She notices intentions, motives, and vulnerabilities that others would reveal only to someone they trust. Her softness opens doors that aggression or pride could never unlock. But make no mistake, softness is never the end point. Once she has clarity and control, her intellect takes over. Her strategy doesn't rely on charm alone. It's reinforced by precision, timing, and calculated decisions. She dismantles false narratives, exposes hidden agendas, and navigates conflict with an efficiency that leaves others stunned, all while they thought she was just being nice. This approach gives her an invisible edge. She can move through social and professional spaces without triggering unnecessary resistance. People underestimate her because they mistake gentleness for passivity. That underestimation is part of the advantage. By the time they realize her true power, the shift is already complete, and she remains unchallenged and unshaken. Her softness is a shield and a lens, not a surrender. It allows her to interact deeply without losing herself, to influence without overt force, and to turn perception into leverage. In a world where aggression is often celebrated, her subtlety becomes her weapon, quiet, precise, and entirely unstoppable. Softness for her is never vulnerability. It's mastery disguised as approachability, a quiet strategy that turns perception into power and ensures she always stays ahead of the game. Number 10. She doesn't chase security. She builds escape routes. The street-smart Sigma female doesn't live for comfort or stability the way most people do. Security, in her mind, is often an illusion, a trap disguised as safety. She's seen too many systems fail, too many promises collapse, and too many people crumble when their safety nets disappear. That's why she doesn't chase security, she builds escape routes. Her mindset is rooted in options. She ensures that no situation, no relationship, no job, and no environment can hold her hostage. She thinks ahead, mapping exits mentally, emotionally, and financially. She has plans for scenarios most people wouldn't even consider, and she adjusts them constantly as new information surfaces. Comfort is secondary, freedom is primary. She also understands that dependence is dangerous. People who rely solely on others, institutions, or routines are vulnerable. She refuses to be that person. Her independence isn't loud or performative, it's practical and strategic. She has savings, skills, knowledge, and connections, not to flaunt, but to guarantee she can pivot whenever necessary. Her escape routes aren't always visible. She doesn't advertise them or use them for leverage overtly. Instead, she quietly navigates life with contingency plans, making sure she's always in a position to act, withdraw, or redirect energy without panic. She treats life like a chessboard. Every move anticipates multiple possibilities, and she's never cornered. This approach gives her unparalleled confidence. While others panic when structures crumble or plans fail, she remains composed because she knows she always has a way out. That composure is disarming. It keeps others off balance while she maintains control. For her, true power is not in clinging to security. It's in knowing freedom is non-negotiable. She doesn't wait for rescue or approval. She ensures her autonomy is intact, and in doing so she becomes untouchable in ways that comfort-loving people can never understand. Number 11. Her empathy has boundaries. Sharp enough to draw blood. The street-smart Sigma female feels deeply, but she never lets that depth become a liability. Her empathy is precise, controlled, and intentional. She can understand pain, read emotions, and even anticipate needs, but she does so without losing herself in the process. Feeling for someone does not mean sacrificing herself, and she has learned this the hard way. She recognizes the difference between connection and exploitation instantly. When someone tries to use her compassion as leverage, manipulate her kindness, or drain her energy under the guise of need, she reacts decisively. Her response isn't dramatic or reactive, it's surgical. She severs ties quietly, efficiently, and without remorse. There's no lingering guilt or second-guessing. She knows that allowing exploitation to continue is the real danger, not detaching from it. Her boundaries are her armor. They are defined, visible in her actions even when unstated. People might think she's detached or cold, but it's a form of self-respect and survival. Her empathy doesn't make her weak, it makes her discerning. She can navigate complex emotional landscapes while keeping herself intact, understanding the human element without being consumed by it. This balance gives her immense power. She can care deeply for the right people and invest energy where it matters, while those who attempt to manipulate her never get past the threshold. Her empathy becomes a tool for influence, understanding, and connection, not a trap. In a world where so many confuse kindness for vulnerability, she turns empathy into strategy. It protects her, guides her, and allows her to operate from strength rather than need. The cut she makes is clean, precise, and final. She feels, she acts, and she moves on, leaving no room for exploitation to linger. Her empathy isn't soft. It's sharpened into a weapon and shield at once, and anyone who crosses it discovers the consequences quickly, quietly, and irrevocably. Number 12. She's mastered the art of being underestimated. The street-smart Sigma female understands one crucial truth. Being underestimated is a weapon. While others feel the need to display power, dominance, or competence, she moves quietly, deliberately, and without fanfare. She doesn't need applause or recognition to validate her strength. Her influence operates beneath the radar, invisible until it's too late for anyone to counter it. She lets people make assumptions about her abilities, personality, or intentions, knowing that misjudgment is a form of camouflage. When someone assumes she's harmless, naive, or unambitious, she gains insight into their true intentions. People often reveal more when they think there's nothing to hide from, and she collects that information, turning it into advantage. Her invisibility is strategic. She observes while others overextend themselves in the spotlight. She calculates while others exhaust energy proving themselves. Her patience allows her to strike with precision rather than impulse. When she finally acts, it's decisive, unexpected, and often irreversible. Those who underestimated her are caught off guard because they never anticipated the depth of her capability. Being underestimated also protects her energy. She doesn't have to fend off envy, competition, or unnecessary challenges constantly because people overlook her until she chooses otherwise. This gives her the freedom to cultivate skills, networks, and strategies quietly, building power without interference. Her strength lies not in confrontation, but in perception. She manipulates how the world sees her, turning invisibility into armor and underestimation into leverage. Others may flaunt power loudly, but she understands that true dominance is subtle, calculated, and often unseen. She doesn't just survive being underestimated, she thrives on it. It's a deliberate choice that transforms every interaction into an opportunity, every misjudgment into intelligence, and every underestimated moment into a stage for precision action. By the time the world catches on, she's already ahead, untouchable and entirely in control. The street-smart Sigma female is not a myth or a personality type you can box into clichés. She is a force forged in the crucible of experience, sharpened by observation, and honed by the clarity that comes from seeing life as it truly is. Every trait she exhibits, from her strategic detachment to her ability to read environments, from her mastery of calm in chaos to her refusal to be distracted by illusions, is a product of precision, survival, and intelligence. She moves through the world not by force but by understanding. She doesn't react to life, she shapes it. Where others see obstacles, she sees openings. Where others get trapped in drama, she navigates with quiet dominance. Her advantage lies in awareness, the kind that is invisible to the untrained eye but lethal in its consequences. She observes, calculates, and positions herself in ways that make her unstoppable, not because she seeks recognition or approval, but because she values autonomy, control, and freedom above all. Every decision, every silence, every interaction is intentional. She thrives in uncertainty, turns adversity into strategy, and ensures that no one and nothing ever dictates her path without her consent. The street-smart Sigma female is a living contradiction to what society expects. Soft yet unbreakable, quiet yet dominant, empathetic yet untouchable. She has learned the art of influence, the power of invisibility, and the necessity of boundaries, all while never losing her essence or compromising her principles. She is a master of survival, a silent architect of her own destiny, and a reminder that true strength is measured not in noise or spectacle, but in clarity, control, and the ability to see beyond the illusions that ensnare others. If this resonates with you, and you want to dive deeper into understanding the power, strategy, and unshakable mindset of Sigma females, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Like this video, share it with someone who needs to see the truth, and drop a comment to join the conversation. Because understanding this mindset isn't just interesting, it's transformative.